Thank you, Stuart.
Evening, Mark. And congrats on the series. As far as the team is concerned, just how important is winning the series from a confidence perspective?
Yeah, I think it's big. A lot of people wrote us off before we even started playing in the series. And as much as you talk to players and that, they've got to go out there and produce the results. And I think after the first game, we didn't play well. I think we learned a couple of good lessons and we put that into practice and we ended up winning the next two. We didn't play well the last game, and we played a really good solid game today. So yes, still places where we can improve, but I think the confidence we can take from this against a really good T20 unit with a lot of experience in these conditions as well, some big hitters, is going to be immense for us. It just goes to show T20 cricket. I mean, we've got a team that if we rock up on the day, we could possibly beat anyone.
Michelle, followed by Ken.
Thank you very much, and congrats, Mark. So in a bit more detail, apart from the series win and the performances by people like Shamsi and the Cock, what are you particularly pleased about?
I think the biggest thing for me is probably the fact that we took away a lot of knowledge from the games that we played throughout the series. We're probably going to be playing in conditions like this in the UAE. The wickets after IPL are going to be dry. So we took a lot of lessons from how to play in these conditions. It's not the same as what we used to back in South Africa, where you can go out and just bash your way to 280 to 200 runs. You got to be skillful here. You got to be smart. And I think we took a lot of lessons. We had meetings after every game, and we took those lessons and we put it into being a bit smarter. And I think that's something I've mentioned from the start as well, that we've got to get guys playing a lot smarter. And I think we saw that in our bowling today. And that comes from a lot of chats behind closed doors and different options that we're giving the players. And I think it showed today that if they listen and they put the ball in the right area and be nice and smart, then we can win close games of cricket, which hasn't been happening in the past.
All right, and the last question, what can you say about Temba's captaincy?
Yeah, Temba was great. I think it's difficult to judge a captain when the side's batting. But I think, you have a look at our bowling. Our bowling throughout the whole series was fantastic. Give or take one or two little bad overs here and there. I think he had a fantastic series. Managing his bowlers, it is quite tough up front. So, there's times where you got to have a bit of a gamble. One or two of those gambles maybe didn't pay off at times, but that's T20 cricket. But yeah, other than that, I think he led the guys beautifully throughout the whole series, and that showed in our especially in our bowling.
We'll go with Ken. Just a reminder, everyone, to please ask one question each, because we've got quite a lot of question requests, and then we'll try and do another round if we've got time. Also a reminder that we are pressed for time in terms of COVID regulations. Ken, followed by Lloyd.
Thanks, Sips. Hi, Mark. Congratulations. You mentioned places where the team can improve. In a way, does that make the triumph even better, that the team, in a way, was not exactly... I suppose it's easy to win when you know that's your 11, that's the best 11, you know what you're doing every game. But it was clear that you were kind of struggling with what your best team is, but the guys still managed to produce the goods in the end.
Yeah, definitely. I think that, there's a couple of guys maybe out of a little bit of form. So if you're winning series against a strong team like that with a couple of guys out of form, then you must be doing something right. And as I said, I think we are just very smart in difficult conditions. I mean, the whole way the game's sort of set up, and the West Indies are playing their brand of cricket and we are playing our brand of cricket. And the guys bought into that. At times, you look at it and you go, what are the guys doing? Why can't they score at the back end? But if you have a look at the bowlers we were facing at the back end, they were very skillful. We were very skillful in the middle overs with our spinners. So, yeah, you got to try and choose a way and find a way at how to win. And that's exactly what we did. So that's why it does make it feel a little bit more special, because we are smart in the way that we went about things, and we managed to put off a series win in foreign conditions. Are there places to improve? Absolutely. We need to get some guys in form, especially going into this next series now. Maybe there's an opportunity for us to get those guys in form so that we can finish off innings better. But there were so many good positive things to talk about as well, other than a couple of things where we know we could be a lot better at.
Lloyd?
Thanks, Sips. How's it, Mark? And congrats. I was actually going to touch on that as well. Just the the commentary on the scoring towards the middle and back end of the innings. But I think you've touched on that quite extensively with the conditions and how tricky it is. But in terms of the balance of the batting, do you feel like after this series you're a bit closer personnel wise to knowing what your best kind of top 5 or 6 is and position wise what that should look like going into a World Cup?
Yeah, look, I think we've got a basic idea. There are still places, that need to be solidified by individuals. As I said, we've got a couple of guys who might be out of a little bit of form, but that happens. It doesn't mean that you become a bad player overnight because you're not scoring runs in difficult conditions to bat in. So we'll get that right, hopefully. And then, if we can get all the guys firing all cylinders, I think we've got an idea of what could be our strongest lineup. And yeah, once that happens, then you end up finding an extra 15, 20 runs, which in these conditions, I mean, we got to 165 quite a few times. If you can find an extra 15, 20 runs, then it becomes a very, very difficult total to chase when it's so dry.
Thanks.
Azabaj, very well done. You've taken a lot of criticism as being appointed the coach even. Do you think these 2 results in these 2 series, do you think that might give the people who are criticizing you something else to think about?
I think criticism comes with the job. And personally, I couldn't be too bothered with the guys criticizing me. If you're here and you see what we're trying to do and we're trying to work out things, then I don't know if they'd have the same sort of mindset with regards to this whole thing. But it doesn't bother me at all, to be honest.
Hi, Mark. Just from a logistical and practical point of view, how does your guys' schedule look like now for the next sort of while until you go to Ireland?
I think we leave tomorrow. It's a long trip over to Ireland. We'll probably have a couple of days where we've got to self-isolate there. And then I suppose we're going to get back into the schedule. I haven't really been through the schedule, to be honest. I think we've been fairly busy over a day and play and then have a day's rest. So there's been a lot of stuff to organise for this particular tour. But I think we'll probably have a couple of days where there's travel and isolation as well.
Tennyson, I'll send a breakdown of how we're going to be traveling, just so that you guys have an understanding at the end of this press conference. We'll finish with Fidos and then we'll go ahead with Temba. If you guys could please give me your requests for Temba's questions on the chat panel.
Hi, Mark. Well done. Mark, during this series, we had confirmation that the T20 World Cup will be moved to the UAE. I suppose we suspected that anyway, but has it changed your plans in any way? And what does it mean in terms of your thinking and team balance going forward?
No, it hasn't changed. I think Indian conditions are very similar to the UAE conditions. That they must subcontinent sort of style wickets. I think if anything, it's probably going to go even further into subcontinent conditions on the extreme side. They're playing the IPL there. There's not a lot of grounds. Those wickets are going to be worn. Which by experience, you probably look at the scores, they'll probably go even further down. So it's going to be tough to bat on, especially at the back end, like we saw here. So we'll have to see how the IPL. I think that's the nice thing, is that we're going to have an idea of what sort of scores are going to be and what combinations work by watching the IPL. And then just take a look and assess how the wickets are playing during the beginning part of the World Cup. I suspect spinners will play a massive role.